The Stranger Things Podcast, Season 2, Episode 11. Our thoughts on Beyond Stranger Things. Hello and welcome to The Stranger Things Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to the Netflix original series
Stranger Things.
I'm Darrell.
And I'm Addi.
How are you?
I'm great. I did that intro better, though.
You mean when you were mocking me before I hit the record button?
Yeah, I am talking about that. Hey guys, I'm Darrell. Welcome to the Stranger Things Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to the Netflix original show, Stranger Things. I'm your host, Darrell.
Yeah, see, you said my name twice.
And I'm Darrell.
I'm Darrell, and this is my other brother, Darrell. Actually, I'm Larry. This is my brother, Darrell. My other brother, Darrell.
Huh?
You're not familiar with that. And I'm so grateful for that. So for those of you who are Addi's age, maybe 25-ish or younger, you're probably not familiar with the Bob Newhart show. And there was 3 characters on the Bob Newhart show. One of them was named Larry, and he had 2 brothers, each named Darrell. And this is a really popular show in the 80s, like the Stranger Things era. And so they would always, hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Darrell. This is my other brother Darrell. And so growing up, I got that all the time. And of course, as you know, my dad's name.
Yeah, your dad's name is Larry.
Larry. So that didn't help the situation at all either. So anyway, I just got used to it. And everyone says it to you. If you have a name that people make fun of all the time, everyone thinks they're the first to come up with that. So you just kind of play along. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Small world. Yeah. Anyway, how are you doing today?
I already answered that.
I know, but you're not talking, so I'm trying to get you to talk more.
I'm great.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to talking about Beyond Stranger Things?
Yes. I was playing some nice Mario Kart before we did this, though.
Mm-hmm.
I got second place.
Second place in Mario. Who are you playing?
I was playing against Peyton.
Peyton Manning?
No, my friend.
Oh. So Addison's friend, obviously his name is Peyton. Every time she mentions Peyton, I ask if it's Peyton Manning. She has no idea who Peyton Manning is.
Is he a football player?
He is. He's retired now. He retired a couple of years ago. But anyway, yeah. Hello, Allie. Or Karen. We call her Karen. Her Facebook name is Allie. Spoiler alert.
Is her name actually Allie?
I don't know. I only call her Karen. So I'm sure I've asked her that before, but it's been years ago and I don't remember the answer to that. So today, as I said, we are talking about Beyond Stranger Things. Addi and I have watched all 7 episodes of Beyond Stranger Things. For me, this was my first time to watch the entire series. I don't know what you call it. What about you?
Series. I don't know.
Was this your first time to watch it, or have you watched it before?
I watched the first episode, and I started the second episode, I think, and then I just stopped watching it. So then I just rewatched them.
Okay, I kind of did the same thing, but I think you watched the first 2 while.
It was right after I watched Stranger Things.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioning it, Mike, I'm coming in and things like that during our podcast. So I watched the first 2 episodes a month ago, and then I went back and rewatched them all those 2 and all the rest in preparation for this podcast. So it's a nickname. Allie is a nickname, she says. Oh, thank you. Mystery solved. So Karen is your real name. So that's good to know.
How do you get Allie from Karen?
Maybe she'll answer that. So, all right. But before we get into the things that we liked about Beyond Stranger Things, we've got some news to talk about today. And Addi, let's let you take this first one here.
Right, as I was yawning. Thanks. Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So the title of the article is Stranger Things stars Brighton Kids Birthday Party Sadness.
And this is from the HuffPost or Huffington Post.
I almost dropped it. Millie Bobby Brown and Gaten Matarazzo reached out after no classmates attended the boys' Stranger Things themed bash. The stars of Stranger Things just took a lonely kid's birthday party to another dimension. No classmates showed up to Aaron. How do you say that? Allenbat?
Allenbat, yeah.
Arnold Lombat's Stranger Things themed birthday bash in California, complete with the wall of lights through which Joyce communicates with her missing son, Will, and I can't read, and a punch called Demogorgon Blood.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Aaron's sister, Ayan Allenbat, vented on the internet. My brother invited 8 of his classmates for his Stranger Things themed birthday party, and none of their punk stars showed up.
Okay, that's the problem. So he invited 8. So 8 was there, but just couldn't see them. She had masked herself. See what I did there? 8 was...
That was like the most unfunny thing I've ever heard.
Hey, it's the best I could do on short notice.
Everything you say is on short notice, then. Cast members...
It's okay.
Wait, is it cast members got one to the party?
Yeah.
Cast members got one to the party and sent messages of support on Tuesday. Next year, I would like an invite, wrote Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11. And so the copy of her tweet is, what? Oh, well, you can let them all know that everyone on behalf of Stranger Things would have come. I think you're awesome. She used the wrong form of your. I think you're awesome. And next year, I would like an invite. Please.
Did you just roast Millie Bobby Brown on her misuse of the word your?
I did.
I love that you're a grammar Nazi like your mom and I are. Continue.
It's not hard to use the right form of your.
Well, for some people, it is.
Well, then, don't be 12. Gaten Matarazzo, who plays Justin, chimed in and said that he could be counted on to provide dessert for the occasion. Count on me too. I'll bring chocolate pudding, he said.
What is pudding?
Just this chocolate you eat with a spoon.
So that's a cool story. I wonder, gosh, that's so sad that no one would show up to a birthday party. I'm glad I don't know what that feels like.
I do.
I have to admit, I put this, I'm a bad father. I put this story in our notes just because I wanted to roast Addi about the time we invited a bunch of people to one of her birthday parties and none of her friends showed up.
Okay, in my defense, it was on my birthday, which happened to be like near Thanksgiving because my birthday's November 26th. And yeah, so I can't have my birthday parties on my actual birthday ever.
That's exactly it. It was on, I think it was the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Everyone's traveling that day. We decided to try it anyway, and then nobody showed up, and so we learned the lesson the hard way. Don't schedule Addison's birthday.
I think it was my 10th birthday, too.
Yeah.
Double digits. Happy birthday, Addi.
Yeah.
No one cares.
So, but this is cool that Gaten and Millie reached out and helped bring some cheer. That sounds like an amazing birthday party. So the mom, and probably the dad, too. It's usually the mom that, moms that do all the birthday party planning, at least in my experience.
That's true.
Went through all this trouble to put together this, what sounds like an amazing party, and then nobody showed up. That's really sad.
Yeah, I would have gone to that kid's birthday party.
Heck yeah, that sounds like the best birthday party ever.
Hey, I should tweet out to Millie and Gaten that no one came to my 10th birthday party, and I would like someone to make it up.
Yeah, you should invite them to your 16th birthday party next year.
You're right.
This year.
Oh, it is this year. No, I don't want to turn 16, no. Yeah. I mean, I want my license, but I
don't want you to turn 16 either. It's hard to believe. This little tiny thing that we brought home from the hospital.
I was not that small.
Yeah, you were.
I was that small.
Yes.
I was tiny.
Now 16.
I was like...
I remember the day you rolled off the couch.
Thanks.
All right. This one comes in from the Hollywood Reporter, and the title is Stranger Things First Season 3 Details Revealed. And this isn't too spoilery, so don't worry. But Shawn Levy revealed that the third season would take place 1 year after the second season during the summer of '85. And I think we knew that already, but this is definitely confirming it. He also added that 11 and Mike and Lucas and Max, respectively, would all be couples at the beginning of the season.
Beginning? Does that mean they're going to break up towards the end?
Well, we'll read on, but at least means they've all been together for over a year, which is a pretty long time for a junior high relationship.
1 month.
Levy also revealed that Steve Harrington, played by Joe Keery, will have more of a role in the next season. I love this because, he's like the guy, his role, Joe has done such a good job with that role. They just keep giving him more. And I'm excited for that. Levy says, quote, "We'll definitely get to see some more of Steve Harrington in season 3. And I'll just say that we won't be abandoning the dad Steve magic."
It's Mom.
I don't want to say much more, but I literally feel that we were walking along and we stumbled onto a gold mine with Dad Steve.
Mom Steve.
Whatever. The 1985 film Back to the Future will be a reference in the new season, which will be in production shortly. That's all from Levy. And then finally, when discussing the performance of Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, of course, in the second season, in which he plays a dominant role, Levy revealed that around the set, I love this, he called the season, quote, "the season of the Schnapp."
Yes.
And deservedly so. Noah, as far as I can recall, did not get nominated for any awards. I mean, the show in general did, and a few of the other actors, David did, and Caleb did. I don't remember who all, probably Millie did.
I think Millie did.
But, man, Noah just killed it this season. So
I know.
Anyway.
He deserves all the awards, all of them.
Definitely. And, of course, we have one more news story for you. Addi, do you want to take it, or should I take it?
I'm not good at reading, so you do it.
Oh, you do a fine job reading, but I'll take it. This is from Neely and Driva over at Deadline, and the title is "Stranger Things Cast Scores Major Salary Increases Ahead of Season 3. And so it's in the first person because, again, it's from Neely. She says, "I hear that the lead, child, and adult stars of the show, that is Finn, Millie, Gaten, Noah, and Caleb." Also,
Noah, it's not Blue.
Yeah. Also, Winona and David have all reached or are finalizing agreements that will see their pay increase significantly. The rise is especially dramatic for the young stars who are mostly newcomers before being cast in Stranger Things. See, I can't read either. Reportedly pulling in, this is their first and second season salaries now, around $30,000 an episode. And Nelia says, "I hear their per episode fee will go up to more than $200,000 an episode and possibly around $250,000 per episode." Millie Bobby Brown, who emerged as the breakout star of Stranger Things, is believed to have landed a bigger raise than her young counterparts. Winona and David, who were established actors with sizable resumes, started higher, and I hear will remain ahead of their younger co-stars, including Brown. And I also hear that their new salaries are north of $300,000, approaching $350,000 per episode. Also getting a bump are the other Stranger Things series regulars, including Natalia Dyer and Charlie Heaton, whose new paychecks are said to be in the $100,000 to $150,000 range per episode. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Finn Wolfhard was in the 100 before.
Oh, the show The 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, as you probably know, I love that show. And whenever we go to Dallas next week, I was like fangirling over Eliza Taylor. She plays the main character in that show. But yeah, there was an episode, and usually I skip the intro on that show because it's not as cool as Stranger Things, obviously. And it said Finn Wolfhard. I was like, wait, did it just say Finn Wolfhard? Because there's a character in the show named Finn. And yeah, I was like, I thought it was talking about him for a second. And I was like, wait, why would it be saying that's not his actual name? And then I was like, wait a second, that said Finn Wolfhard. And I didn't realize who he was until like a little bit, like whenever he came, like he was like in the intro of the show, and then like he comes back a little bit later, and I didn't realize it was him until he comes back a little bit later.
He would have had to have been really young because it would have been before Stranger Things days, right?
Yeah, he was really young, and like his face was like deformed, so like I didn't recognize him.
Okay.
And then I was like, wait, that's definitely Finn.
Cool. Wonder what season that was on. Do you know?
Either season 1 or season 2. I think I'm on season 3, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what year that came out. I saw the pilot for that show at Comic-Con one year, so that was probably 2012 or 13. No, we didn't go to Comic-Con 2013. Probably 12 or 11. That's when that show premiered. So that's quite a ways ago if it was season 1 or season 2. All right. Well, that's the news for today as far as articles go. Now, Addi mentioned Dallas Fan Expo Dallas Comic Con. Fan Expo Dallas is the actual name. That is happening 1 week from today. So we're recording and publishing this on March 31st. We had to squeeze it in. We promised you guys 1 episode a month, and we had to get it. Like, obviously, today's the last day of the month. But anyway, 1 week from today, she and I will be in Dallas for Fan Expo Dallas, and the 3 members of the cast are going to be there. Caleb, who plays Lucas, and Sadie, who plays Max, and Gaten, who plays Dustin, are all going to be there. And we're going to be there too. So if you're going to be there, we would love to just meet up and say hi, or maybe we can grab some dinner or something like that. So if you're going to be there, give us a shout out on our Facebook page, which is
www.facebook.com/group/Stranger Things. Wait, is that it? GSM?
I believe that's it. Let me scroll down. Yes,
Yes.
you got it right. Give us a shout out on Twitter, which is Upside Down GSM, or give us, you can reach out to us through.
Do we use Instagram though? I've been grounded for like 3 months.
that's true. Addi is our Instagrammer, and she's been grounded from her phone. So
thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily fix that. Just give it back to me.
Anyway, or you can reach out goldenspiralmedia.com/feedback. So we'd love to just, like I said, no pressure. We'd like to say hi, or if you want to grab some dinner one night, just all kind of go out and grab a place to eat. That'd be cool. Let us know. And we're excited about being there. Okay, so the purpose of this episode is to talk about Beyond Stranger Things. I put a shout out on Facebook for you guys to send us in your 5 favorite moments from Beyond Stranger Things. And that's what Addi and I were going to do as well. I said, Addi, why don't you put together your top 5? I'll put together my top 5. How'd you do on creating a top 5?
Did you mean top 11?
Did you do 11 because 11, or did it just come out to be 11?
It just came out to be 11.
I see. Yeah, so you came up with 11. I came up with 14, which in hindsight, to think about 5 was kind of stupid because there are 7 episodes. So that means like some episodes I wouldn't say anything at all. That doesn't make sense. So I averaged 2 items per episode. All right, what's number 1 for you?
Okay, so in episode 2, Caleb, he has an apple, and I put all this in order of like episodes. So
Me too. Yeah,
it's not like
I don't mean to interrupt you. I mean, I do, but I'm sorry. In case you don't know what Beyond Stranger Things was, I mean, I doubt this is anybody, but just in case, it's an accompanying show where they talk to the cast and the directors, Shawn Levy, and the creators, the Duffer Brothers, kind of walk their way through the season. So it's really, really cool. It's on Netflix, of course, so go check it out if you haven't. So anyway, I'm sure everyone knew that. I probably didn't need to say that, but just
Thanks for interrupting me, Dad.
Sorry, go ahead.
You could just walk out of this room right now and you wouldn't care.
Yes, I would, because then, opening the door would interrupt the recording. And you'd be gone too.
So anyway, number 1, Caleb was like playing with an apple or whatever. Like I guess they said that you could bring like a snack that you could share with everyone. He brings a single apple, like not even cut up or anything. It's just a single apple.
Like a MacBook?
No, you've seen the episode.
Oh, you're right. It was an apple like you eat.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. He was like eating, and then he eats it at the end, and they were all getting onto him for it. And then he, like in the middle of the thing, he just like starts blowing his nose. It was so funny because they were like, "Dude, really?" Yeah,
like you're in a 2-shot. Yeah, it's so much like, okay. So when I saw him do that, it's a kid. That's what kids do. Even if like they're on set, they're used to being around cameras and, hey, you need to be mindful of what's in the shot and audio and all that stuff. They're still kids. And you're the same way. Like when we were in here before, now it was before we were recording, but you were in here like playing with bubble wrap and popping them and everything. And I'm trying to get all of our levels set and do all that stuff. And so, yeah, it was just it was hilarious because I'm like, of course that's what he would do. He's a kid, and that's what kids do.
He's older than me.
By like a year? And he's 16 already?
October 13th, 2001.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So almost a year. Oh, just over a year, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has the same birthday as Colby, except...
He's the oldest cast member, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of the kids.
Yeah.
All right. What else anything else in episode 1?
That was in episode 2.
Oh, that was in episode 2?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Oh, well, let's see. Here's what I had on episode 1. Well, I just loved, so the title sequence with the green screen
Oh, yeah,
and the
I would do that one.
music. I just think and then when the beat drops and the hits back in, like you and I have talked about with the regular Stranger Things theme, even though Netflix gives you that skip intro button, it's like should be against the law, right?
I never skip it.
I feel the same way about the intro music, to be honest. I loved it that much too.
See, I skipped the intro to the 100, but I don't skip it to
Stranger Things. What about Beyond Stranger Things?
I skipped it a couple times. I mean, it's really good, but I listened to it on YouTube. Like, it's on my playlist. It's called, I'm like 99% sure it's Stranger Think by C418, who's the creator for like all the Minecraft music and whatever. But it's like sped up a little bit, and I didn't really notice it until like someone like said it in like the comment section of like one of the videos, and it said this is Beyond Stranger Things, but like sped up, like just put it on 1.25, and I did that, and I was like, okay, it is. So it sounds pretty similar in like some parts, and you can like tell which pieces they crop together.
Okay. Yeah, I liked, like I said, the green screen. So when you see the way they made their images out of the green lines and stuff like that, have you seen a computer screen that it's only green? Okay, I wasn't sure. Like that's where they were when I was in 6th grade. We had 4 computers in our classroom, and which was a huge deal. So 6th grade. Let's see, how old are you in 6th grade? Like 11?
I don't know.
Let's just say 11 because that's a good number for this show. So that would have been 87. So somewhere around 86, 87, I'm guessing. And so the screens were just green. The keyboard was built into them. They had no hard drive. They had 2 floppy disks, like the big. Have you seen the big floppy, like 5.5 inch discs? Have you ever seen those? And they actually are floppy. So that's where the name floppy disk originally came from.
I don't think I have.
No. So that's what we had in our classroom, and they were all just the green
and now,
screen.
like every single one of us gets laptops, except for I don't think juniors or seniors get them because they're leaving anyway.
Yeah, but you'll grow up with Chromebooks. Yeah. Anyway, it's just amazing how far the technology has come. So nowadays, when you say green screen, you think of a green screen that they film in front of, so you can do computer backdrops and stuff like that. So I wanted to, make sure I was clear when I was telling you what a green screen was back in the 80s. Completely different connotation.
All right.
Loved it. The other thing I thought, or I liked about episode number 1 was that originally when they were kind of scoping out the script and the season, they had intended for the snowball to be the reunion for Mike and Eleven. And they scrapped that and gave them the reunion, back in episode 8, at the very end of episode 8, which I think was a great move because it gave Eleven that really awesome intro where she throws the Dimmadog through the window and then opens the door and they don't know what it is and it turns out that it's Eleven. So that's a really cool, a much better entrance and reunion, I think, for the two of them than the snowball would have been. What about you?
I think the snowball would have been better.
What?
Yeah.
Why? And how?
Because, it's been a little over a year.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, Mike doesn't know what happened to Eleven. He doesn't even know if she's alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of a sudden she just walks in and she looks really pretty and yeah, it's just, I don't know. It'd be like, whoa, last time I saw her, she was killing a monster, and now she's dressed up nicely at a dance, and I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been cool. I just love the entrance we got in episode 8.
I guess.
Okay. We can just agree to disagree. All right, what you got in episode? Anything else in episode 2? Are you knocking more Funko Pops? Did you knock off 11 again?
Yeah.
Rip 11. Okay, what else on episode 2?
I thought it was really funny how the director, Shawn Levy, had to tell Gaten and was it Caleb? Yeah, Caleb.
Yes.
Not to slap each other before the takes because it was turning their faces red.
Yes.
They were talking about things that you would never, like you never would have thought you had to say as a director, or things that you would never have to say again as a director. And that's one of them. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because that seems like such a Stranger Things cast thing to do.
And it's such a boy thing to do. Like, you don't see girls just slapping each other, right?
I would probably do that.
Would you? Okay. Okay, fine. Let's see what I have. Oh, you see. Anything else on season 2 or episode 2?
Season 2?
No, that one was from episode 2. Okay, for me, a couple of things I liked in episode 2 was they said that they started prepping season 2 before season 1 was even released, and they did that to kind of avoid the baggage of the public perception. So it hadn't been greenlit for season 2, but they were pretty sure, and so they said, go ahead and start, get into a room and start working on season 2, and it allowed them to kind of say, okay, what do we want in season 2, rather than going, okay, what do we think that the public would want in season 2? And so I thought that was a really cool decision that they did. Now, of course, they can't make that same decision this year. Obviously, we're in 2 seasons have gone by. So now they're going to have to kind of, you can't get that out of your head, right? You can't get it out of your head like, oh, people loved Barb, or people loved Bob, or people, hate Billy, or, those.
Or Steve.
Those, no one hates Steve anymore. You can't get those out of your head. Like your brain, it's in your brain. And so now those are your biases. And so, but I like that they did that before season 2.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have thought that would have been the case. So I'm glad they mentioned that. I also liked that they chose Dig Dug because of the theme, the digging the tunnels. And obviously that was a big, and I loved Caleb's reaction because he did not realize it until they mentioned, they went through Dragon's Lair. And this was another thing, like that Dragon's Lair scene, it's Dustin and Lucas fighting over who's going to be better at Dragon's Lair. And you're in Dragon's Lair, you're trying to rescue Daphne, Princess Daphne, and that parallels them trying to win the heart of Max over the course of the season. And I did not see that parallel, and they didn't either. But then Lucas also didn't, or Caleb didn't pick up on the Dig Dug parallels either. And so you see him like on camera, you see his face light up when he was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't!" And that was just a really cool to see him make that connection. I liked it. All right, episode 3. What you got?
I don't have anything for episode 3.
Nothing. What episode is that one?
Well, I think it could come from the one with Billy and Sadie, but there was one with Sadie in it like before it, so that's why I didn't put an episode number because it was in several.
Okay.
But I said their Billy and Max's last name is Hargrove, which I did know that, but I forgot about it because I looked up, I think, Max's character, and there's a Stranger Things Wikipedia, and it said their last name was Hargrove, and I was like, all right, because it didn't say it in the show.
Yeah.
So.
I'm trying to remember if I knew that or not. I don't recall if I knew that. So excellent. Now we know. So you don't have any other notes here until episode 7, which you really have a lot of notes on. So
yeah, I have a lot of episodes.
Okay, well, I'll take us through what I pulled out of episode 3 was okay. So you in the scene, I guess it's episode. It would have been episode 9, right? When Steve and Billy get into the fight at the buyer's house.
I don't know.
Whatever episode that is, yeah, it's episode 9. You see Billy grab a plate and whack Steve over the head with it, and that was a breakaway plate, but it hit Joe just right that it actually dazed him. And so when you see kind of Steve kind of stumble and look dazed, that's actually Joe being dazed by the plate, even though it was a breakaway plate.
That's nice.
I love things like that because like when you realize, like we also, I don't think I put it in the notes, in the breakfast scene with Jonathan and Murray, thank you,
and
Nancy. He's like, how was the pull-out last night? And then they all kind of like choke on their food, and then he's eating and the eggs fall off his fork and he's like, oops, like that was complete not planned, and he just played it, and the oops was improv. And then like they show in Beyond Stranger Things, like as soon as they yelled cut, everyone just lost it because he just played right along. And I love things like that where you see it and you don't know, was that improvised or was that reaction real, or was it was it full acting, whatever. So anyway, I love that when you're rewatching, you realize that Joe actually got stunned by that plate break. It adds another kind of dimension of the scene. Mm-hmm. He wasn't acting; he was really dazed. So let's see what else in episode 3. Oh, this was so cool. I've never heard this anywhere before, and I would love to know if it's a regular thing that directors do. Shawn Levy, and I didn't look up Andrew's last name. Do you recall Andrew's last name? He's one of the other directors.
No.
Sorry, Andrew.
I just remember Shawn's last name because we thought it was Levy.
Yeah, we mispronounced it until we were educated.
And so I watched Beyond Stranger Things, and I was like, it's Levy.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad you told me. So Shawn mentioned that he will play music during particular scenes. So while they're filming, they'll have music playing on set. So I'm guessing either that music isn't getting picked up by the microphones, or they're having to replace that dialogue in AR. Was it ARV? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
We know this. We went to the studio and saw that. But anyway, where they do dialogue after the fact, they kind of overdub it in. But or maybe there's no dialogue, so they can. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, he'll play music to kind of help set the theme and the mood and help the actors kind of feel the tension or whatever. And so they're actually playing music, not the music we hear, but like he mentioned music from the Andromeda Strain, I think, if I remember right, that he played to kind of help get the mood on the set. So anyway, I've never heard of a director doing that. I would love to know if that's something that happens more often, because I thought that was a really cool idea. Okay, episode 4. You got nothing?
No.
All right. You're going to be doing all the talking on episode 7. Episode 4 for me, I got 3 items. I got the most out of this episode. Murray's family, we got a little backstory on Murray's. His family was destroyed. He used to work at the Chicago Sun-Times, and I think we knew that. But his backstory that he was given to kind of help him understand the character was that he was like an investigative reporter for the Chicago Sun-Times, and whatever his investigation was he was working on, he got so wrapped up into it that it ended up destroying his family. And so that's why he's alone now. He used to be married and have kids. I mean, he still has kids, but they're gone out of his life because he was so invested into his investigation that he lost his family, which is really sad.
That's gotta suck.
Yeah, absolutely. And so David Harbour was never on set, but they brought him in via video for quite a few episodes, so that was really cool. He said that he wants to see Hopper and Murray team up, kind of like buddy cops, to solve a mystery in season 3, just because they're so antagonistic against each other. Like Murray gets on Hopper's nerves, and they're completely opposites, and he just thinks that would be a good dynamic. And I agree. I think that would be really cool. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, be funny.
Because they were all like making fun of Murray whenever he walked into the studio, like the police station, in the show.
Exactly. Yeah. And David is in the chat. Hello, David. So we're streaming this live on Facebook, by the way. So hello to David. Okay. One more thing for episode 4 for me. This was interesting. So Barb's headstone, and you see this on the show. Barb's headstone says September 13th, 1967, and it looks to me like it says November 15th, 1983. The 15th part could be wrong. It's not really that big of a deal. But from what I could tell, it said September 13th, 1967 to November 15th, 1983. And so they were talking about when they were filming that scene and how hot it was that day, and they were all in like these, suit coats and stuff like that, and they were roasting. But they also had, when you go to a funeral, you get that little pamphlet thing that kind of usually has some scripture, maybe a poem, and tells about the deceased, yada, yada, yada. So they actually had those printed up for Barb, and they showed it plain as day on the screen, and it said February 28th, 1965. And then her date of death was November 8th, 1983. And I think that's her legit date of death, November 8th, 1983. But
it seems more legit.
The headstone did not look like an 8 to me. But either way, what was clear on the headstone was September 13th, 1967. And what's clear on that pamphlet is February 28th, 1965. Which 67 is more accurate. That would put her around 16 years old instead of 18 years old like the other one. So that's just one of those little things that, continuity error. So thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think the birth date is right on the first one, and the death date is right on the second one.
I think you're right.
They just mix them up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it could be her birth date is February 28th, 1967, but 67's got to be the year of her birth. That's the only thing that makes sense. All right, moving on to episode 5. I only got one thing out of this that I wanted to make note of, and that is that in this episode they had all the boys, and they were talking about the way they filmed the different dart sequences. So from when he was a little tadpole and they're in the AV room and they're kind of passing him, from hands to hands, and they did that with a marble. And so if you go back and watch that scene and if you visualize them having, pretty good, like a $50 size marble, and you're kind of rolling it from your hands into the hands of your friend, that's how they got them to do those positions, those hand positions. And then they tracked the marble when they did CG. And I think all the kids had tracking dots on their hands too. I saw that they had
the dots.
Yeah.
I'm following, I think the makeup artist on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We should get them to be on the show, on our podcast.
To her.
Okay. Some of the other things they did when Dustin gets Dart from the bathroom, and Dart kind of crawls into his hands. They did that with a rubber one that had a string on it, and they literally just pulled the string to get the Dart into Dustin's hands. And then they had some other ones, different sized ones, the tadpole sized and stuff like that, right? So I just love to see how they did the different Dart formations and how they put those scenes together. There was when he hides Dart under his hat, there was a rubber frog, and they just did that and then used the CG to track the frog and replace it.
Did Colby just scream?
I think he did. Anyway, I love that. Okay, episode 6. I have a couple things here. Linnea, who played Collie, she says that she thinks that at the end of, what was that, episode 7?
Yeah.
So you see at the end, as they're driving off, she's kind of looking out the window, and then of course they paralleled that with 11 looking out the window on the bus back to Hawkins. But she felt like after 11 made the decision not to go down the road of rage and hate and revenge, that as Collie is sitting there in the van staring out the window, she kind of has this moment of internalizing that and has a change of perception and therefore a change in her character there at the end of that episode 7. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I could see that because she looked genuinely upset and because it would be there's finally someone out there that's just like me, but she's leaving to go help someone instead of hurt them.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be cool. I mean, that would be a great way to have 8 come back into the picture in season 3 or beyond. See what I did there? Beyond Stranger Things. And maybe, then, because what we saw in this season was how 8 helped transform 11 and help her kind of harness her powers more. But what 11 might learn is that she actually ended up having a potentially greater impact on 8 than 8 had on her, for the good. So that would be kind of cool if that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we agree on that. Unlike the reunion scene that we disagreed on earlier, because you were wrong. Remember that scene in season 1 where, what is it, the wrist rocket, how you thought that had something to do with the Demogorgon's demise?
It did.
No, it didn't. Okay, let's see. What episode are we on here? 5? 6?
You're on number 12.
Numero 12. Dacre and Joe
Dose.
are actually terrible at basketball.
Yeah.
This was funny to me because they're portrayed as these jocks on the show, and neither of them are. So they had to go to like a basketball clinic, and the coach on the show, you see him in the background, is actually the guy that coached them. And they showed all these outtakes of like Dacre not even be able to make a layup. We see in the show, he just kind of goes up there and just gracefully makes this layup, one of the easiest shots that there are. And in the outtakes, he's just missing layup after layup after layup. And then that final shot where he takes the ball underneath his leg and throws it in, like Shawn Levy was like, do not try it. No, we're not going to do that shot because, you suck at it. And then like he did it and it went in, and like, so his reaction was supposed to be like looking at Steve Harrington and going, oh yeah, that's right. I'm the boss. But he was so surprised that he made it. Like his reaction is like, oh,
That would actually be me.
Yeah. So anyway, I can identify with that because I tried to be good at basketball when I was in high school and I sucked at it, but I was never seen as a jock either. But these guys are actors, so that in high school that maybe they were on the drama club, right? And so they weren't actually ever athletes.
That's true. I never
but
thought
we see
of that.
them as that, right? So anyway, I just love this insight of these two guys. We look at and go, "Oh my gosh, they're so athletic and studly," and really they're not. They're not, at least not when it comes to basketball.
And then Sadie, she had to learn how to ride a skateboard.
Yeah.
And they Dacre and Sadie, they had to get spray tans since they're supposed to be from California, and they had to get spray tans. I thought that was kind of funny.
That is funny.
Sadie said it smelled bad.
Yeah, because they were like, you were from California, and Sadie, you're a skateboarder, so you would have been outside all the time. So spray tan time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. Episode 7. All right. Addison's back.
Nice. Okay. So.
Oh, we both have this one. This was really cool. Go ahead.
Okay. So, in like a past version of like one of the first versions of Stranger Things, or Stranger Things 2, like one of like the scripts or whatever, it had Evil Will killing Bob during the Mr. Baldo scene. They obviously didn't do that, but I thought that was pretty cool. And because you thought you thought Bob was the evil one.
Yeah, at that point, I was full on like, can't trust Bob, and here's why. Yeah, that would have changed everything. I mean, that would have made Will a killer too. I mean, not Will himself, but how would he react to knowing he killed Bob, right? When he got out of his, when he had his awakening.
I know, that would have been horrible for Will because he's such a good kid.
Yeah.
He reminds me of my friend Trevin. He's just a good boy.
So, if they had, do you think that would have been better if they would have had Will kill?
No.
Okay, so we agree on this
No.
one. Okay.
I'm glad they took that out.
Yeah.
So Matt Duffer was laughing during the scene with Joyce, Will,
Nancy.
I keep on call her Natalia.
Yeah.
And
Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan. They were all like in Hopper's cabin trying to get the thing out of Will. And so during that scene, Matt Duffer was like laughing and stuff, and he said I was like laughing at a child's pain, and I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. It was so funny how they filmed that. At least the part where she sticks him
like,
with the red hot poker, because it was the dummy from last season.
Tiny X.
Yeah, where they had the smoke implant right there that she had to hit it with. It was a red hot poker. Like, it wasn't just like lit up or done with CG. It was a legit red hot poker, right? You know what she said?
I think so.
Yeah, and it was the dummy that they had used as the dead Will in season 1.
Yeah. And he said that, I can't remember if it was Matt or Ross. think it was Matt again, but he took a video of him like hardcore punching the fake Will, and sent it to Millie.
Yeah, they even showed that. It looked legit. Like if you just got that, you would be like, oh my gosh.
Like especially since Noah and Millie are like best friends in real life.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been so funny.
No doubt, that would have been shocking.
And like Millie, she has pretty big reactions to everything. So she would have been like, "What? No!"
Yeah, that was good.
And okay, so number 7.
Yeah, you're on number 7.
Okay, so they said that they like love destroying like Joyce's house. So like in season 1 they had the lights, and then in season 2 they had all the crayon drawings everywhere.
Yeah.
And I wonder what they're gonna do in season 3. And like even during the fight scene, they between Steve and Billy. Yeah. They or after it was over, Max, she takes the nail bat and like smashes it into the ground.
Yeah, into the floor, yeah.
Yeah. So they just love tearing up her house. And of course Dustin and Steve, they put the dead Demogorgon in her fridge.
That's right. Yeah. Well, in season 1 they set the Demogorgon on fire and they poured all that gas in there. So poor Joyce. I hope they leave her alone and see her house alone. And I hope they leave Will alone.
I don't. I want them to destroy it more. It's funny. It
is funny, but that poor woman, she can't catch a break. She's struggling as it is.
Yeah. And then there's Will, the innocent one who never gets a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So they also talked about how Joyce didn't choose to go with Bob, like whenever he was like, let's just leave Hawkins and go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no. But then they said if Bob survived, like if he, would have moved 2 feet
or just not stopped.
Yeah, exactly. Then and he lived, she would have like moved with him
to Maine.
Yeah. Which I'm glad she didn't move, because that would have ruined the whole show. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob couldn't live for that very reason. Once they decided that they would move off together, Bob had to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't say that. I'm just being silly, but
you're right.
I'm right though, yeah. But I don't want to make it sound like they said that, yeah.
So, I think you have this one too. But so someone came into the set.
Oh, one of the writers.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, do you want to be the Demodog and kill Bob? And she was like, yeah. So they did like, I think she was beating him up for like 2 hours or something. Yeah. And they were like, during one of the takes, they put fake blood in his mouth, and he just like spits it up, and it's in the show. I don't think they cut it out. But yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
what's in Beyond Stranger Things? I think they cut it out of the actual.
I don't think they did.
You don't think they did? I thought they said they did. I couldn't remember, but that would be cool. So yeah, it's one of the writers. If I understood it right, she wanted to come to the set and just see how it works on that side, because she's, back in L.A. or wherever they actually do the writing, and because that's like, Troy and Aaron that do the Blacklist Exposed here on Golden Spiral Media Network. They filmed that show in New York City, but. They write it. When you and I took the tour with Colby of Universal Studios. Universal. We went to the Universal lot where they had the big rainbow and stuff like that. That's where they actually, like, that campus is where they write the Blacklist. So Troy, he's gone out there a couple of times and met with the writers and the executive producers of the show and been to their offices, and that's where he goes when he does that. So Stranger Things, and a lot of shows are that way, right? They film in one location, but the writers are back in a different location. So she, excuse me. So she wanted to go see what's it like on set when they're filming. And so she shows up, and they're like, hey, by the way, you're pretty small. We need somebody to kind of act like you're the Demogorgon.
Hey, could have done it.
Killing Bob. And so that would have been awesome. Both to just be on set and then to be the Demodog killing Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to just be in like the general area, like we're in wherever they film it in Georgia, and that would be cool. Like, we're in the same city as they film Stranger Things.
Yeah, that would be cool if we got to go to the set sometime. Okay, so we both liked that. What else do you have on your list here? I'm trying to figure out where we're at. Oh, you're on number 10.
Yeah. So Shawn Levy, he called himself the walking spoiler.
Yeah.
So I think it was the Duffer Brothers. They told Millie that she was going to get to be with David a lot and like work with David. Because Millie said that she thought 11 was going to be done. She's out of the show. It's just season 1.
Right.
And so they told her she was going to be with David, and then or Jim, and then Shawn, he was like, oh yeah, you also get to meet up with Mama, and so he like spoiled that, like he spoiled their own show. So.
Yeah. Which is one thing to spoil it to the cast. Although sometimes they keep things hidden from the cast so they can get an authentic reaction from them. When the time comes. Like
with Caleb and Sadie, like their kiss.
Yeah.
They didn't know about it
until the day they filmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Millie and Finn, they were just like, good luck. And Millie, she had sleepovers with Sadie and stuff. And she was like, oh, I'm so excited for you. You're going to have so much fun. I thought that was pretty funny, too. Yeah. I think that was in episode 1.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. All right. You've got one more on episode 7.
So they were talking about Billy and Mrs. Wheeler.
This is so disturbing. Okay.
Yeah. And they were like, so we're going to see Billy and Miss Wheeler go on a date. And and I think it was... I forgot who said it, but they were like, "Yeah, that'd be hot."
Oh, who did say that?
I don't remember. Was it Dacre? Was Dacre in that episode? I don't remember who all was in that episode.
No, the final episode was the main cast. It was Millie and Finn and.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I just watched it.
It wasn't Finn.
Yeah,
no.
Finn was in it.
No, it was Millie. Who was in that last episode? Oh, it was Millie, Natalia.
I'm going to
Will was there. Noah, sorry.
Noah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I can just go to Netflix really quick. And wait, where's Beyond Stranger Things? Oh, it's right here.
Right there.
Oh, would you look at that? Friends is on Netflix.
Yeah, I was watching it last night.
All right. Episodes. How many are there? Just 7?
It was the Duffer Brothers and Shawn, so maybe it was just them.
There we go.
Yeah, so it was Noah, Millie, Natalia, the Duffer Brothers, and Shawn. So which one? It would have been one of the Duffer Brothers that said it then, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know which one because I don't know which one's which because they're twins and.
Matt's the one with the colored hair.
The gray in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Addi and I were looking at that the other day. She's like, "Is that gray hair in the front?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
I mean,
it looks
I was
like
thinking it was just dyed because it was in like one spot.
It could be. I had a friend in high school who had one gray spot just randomly on the side of his head. It was so weird. Yeah.
Did he dye it?
No. But anyway,
I guess
so
he probably had a daughter.
So I said he must have a daughter with all that gray hair. That's where I always tell Addi, she's like, "Dad, you got so much gray hair." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's because of you." So that's it. That's the last things I had on my list were the Baldo, that in an early episode, Evil Will killed Bob during the Baldo scene, and one of the writers was on the set too.
I would want to see that though, like
that.
an outtake of Evil Will killing Bob.
Oh, not me.
So Bob gets to die twice.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave Bob more screen time than that, and they had a great little video. So David wasn't the only one that came on via video. Who else came in? There were 3 people that came in via video. Of course, Bob. Actor's name is
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. Thank you.
I don't remember who the other one was.
Who was the other one? Anyway, But yeah, Shawn was like, he was thrilled with the story arc they gave Bob, and that most importantly that he got kind of a hero's death. And he says that's all you can ever ask for as an actor. If your character's going to die, go out like a hero, and he got that.
Only because I said it in the show 20 times.
Yeah, he did say that. He told him like 30 times or something like that. And they're like, yeah, we got it. Yeah, you want to go out like a hero. Yeah, we understand. Yeah. And he did. So good for him.
Oh, Paul Reiser was the other one.
Paul Reiser. Yeah, he did come in via video. Yeah, good job.
Stop hitting me. That's child abuse.
No, it's not. All right. Well, that's it. That's all our thoughts. I loved it. I loved the music, as I said, and it was just fun to see their reactions. It was fun to see. One of the things I really loved was watching the Duffer Brothers and even Shawn. They're hearing the actors, typically the younger actors, kind of like there was a scene with Millie where she and one of the Duffer Brothers really were at odds, and even Shawn about how 11 would view Papa, and she was like, Papa's not that bad of a guy. And they're like, what? And she's like, yeah, let me tell you why. And they were really at odds, but it was through scenes like that and dialogues like that where they're getting to see, because the actors, they're given a script and they're giving some coaching, but at the end of the day, they have to kind of internalize this and process the mentality of their actor to be at this spot for the performance they're delivering at that moment. And so, to hear them explain their thought processes, and you could see that Shawn and the Duffer Brothers were both genuinely like, whoa, really surprised, and just their reactions to the actors' thought processes was really cool. And they were really enlightened by that. And I really enjoyed seeing that kind of interaction and stuff going on between the actors and the powers that be.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, go check it out if you haven't already. It gets 2 thumbs up from me. How about you?
4.
Ooh. You have 4 thumbs?
Yeah.
That's a big toe. Anyway, and don't forget, if you're going to be at Fan Expo Dallas next weekend, which is the first weekend of April, 6th, 7th, and 8th, we would love to meet up with you. Go join us over on Facebook at
www.facebook.com/groups/StrangerThingsGSM.
/groups/StrangerThingsGSM. That's right. And Twitter is Upside Down GSM. And of course, you can
say it. Oh. You can keep the conversation going on social media. Our Instagram is Stranger Things GSM, although that is not currently active.
Because you're grounded from your phone.
No, because you chose to ground me from my phone.
That's true. I did.
I mean, you could very easily give it back to me. And then our Twitter is Upside Down GSM, and our Facebook, of course. I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
www.facebook.com/ Wait, did I say 3 W's or 2?
Nope, you said 2.
Okay, www.facebook.com/groups/StrangerThingsGSM.
All right.
I was like, oh, wait.
And of course, you can call us on the Golden Spiral Media voice feedback hotline, which is 304-837-2278. And goldenspiralmedia.com/feedback.
I was going to say Stranger Things GSM. I was like, oh, wait. That's not it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Next episode will be out earlier in the month because we're going to be bringing content from Fan Expo Dallas. There is a panel.
Comic-Con.
There's a panel with the 3 actors again. Caleb and Sadie and Gaten will be there. So they're going to put a panel on Sunday. We'll be recording that panel, sharing it with you as a podcast episode. And we'll also be sharing our thoughts. We're going to hopefully do a photo op with them. So that means we'll get 10 seconds to say hi to them. And so that we'll do that and share our thoughts from Dallas Comic Con. There's also going to be a Stranger Things cosplay fan meetup. We didn't say this, but I'm going to be cosplaying as Dustin, season 1 Dustin, where he's got the Castroville Avocado Festival T-shirt
You're
on,
wearing it.
which I'm wearing right now. And so I'll have that, the brown pants and the hat. And Addi?
I'm going to be season 1 11 in the pink dress. Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to have the dress, the 11 tattoo. She'll have the watch. We actually have the legit watch.
Yes.
And the socks. And the only thing for her that won't be authentic is her Converse are not high tops. They are white, but they are low tops.
Yeah,
So,
thanks a lot, Dad.
She'll be closer to the character than I will be of Dustin. I won't have a wig, and my pants won't be corduroy, and my shoes won't be white. But we'll be having fun. So if you're there, we'd love to just, again, say hi or even catch a meal together. So let us know. And that's what we'll be bringing you in April. So thanks for tuning in. And until next time.
Stay strange.